Okay. Good afternoon, class.
Okay.
I welcome you to this session of ICT class. I'm your teacher, Padmo Bwache Ajimai. And today we are going to have a lesson which is going to be a continuation of our previously taking lessons from hardware and software. We started by treating hardware and we also treated software. We got to know the definition of what a hardware is. We also got to know the types of hardware, which was the internal hardware and external hardware. Then from there we got to softwares, which we also treated the definition of a software, and we also got to know the two main types of software, which is the application softwares and the system. So we will proceed from there and move on to word processing. Word processing. So one may ask, what is the meaning of word processing? Word processing is the use of a program called a word processor running on a computer that allows users to create, edit, format, and store primarily text-based documents. I'll go again. Word processing is the use of a program called a word processor running on a computer that allows users to create, edit, format, and store primarily text-based documents. So one may ask, what is the meaning of this long definition that have been stated? So as you can see from there, you notice that we said the use of a program, and a program is another terminology in ICT you can use for software. So word processor itself, that is the software that you use in word processing, is also what? Instead of saying it is what? A program, you can also say it is a software. So we already know that a software is a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform a task. So a word processor is a software, and therefore it gives a computer instructions. And a software, that software must be what? Running on what? A specific computer, whether it be a handheld computer, whether your smartphone, whether your laptop, your desktop PC, which all comes in different operating systems, because you will remember that during softwares, we got to know that most softwares are not created for one specific platform, but rather different platforms. So a word processor is what? A software or a program that must be running on what? A computer, and therefore it also allows a user to what? Create, edit, format, and store primarily text-based documents. Whether it be or if the software can't do anything, it should be able to at least what? Create a document that involves only text. So that is the meaning of this particular part that we are talking about. So there is also a second definition for word processing here, which also says word processing is the art of using a computer software. The art of using a computer software to create, edit, format, and print text-based documents, which is also similar to the first definition that we gave. So as you can see, we also have the create, edit, the format, and the on. And this time around, there was another function which was print that has been what? Added. So these are some of the functions or the basic functions you can perform when creating or doing word processing or when creating a document. So from here we move on to our next slide, which you are going to see a cycle, and I'm going to call this cycle the word processing cycle. So in word processing, you begin by first what? Creating a document. That is the creating what? Process. When we say create, to create something, it means what? To make something, to bring something to what? To life. Okay. So From creating, the next cycle or the next step in this cycle is what? To edit. So to edit means what? To add or what? To remove something from what? A content. So after creating your document, there can be an omission. For example, maybe you are typing a letter, you forgot to what? Add something. You can choose to what? Go ahead and what? Add something to it, or after creating, you read through your document and you realize you made a mistake. That is where you can also go ahead and also remove something from what? Your document. So that is what? The editing what? Phase. Then after your editing has been done successfully, that is where you go ahead what? To save your document. This is also a very important step. So saving your document ensures that your document or all the progress you've made in creating your document has been what? Successfully what? Saved or has been successfully kept. So that in case of any power loss or any, as you know, we are in Ghana and power outages are a problem in this country. So it is always very important and necessary to what? To save your document. So from saving, there is a next step, which is what? The printing stage. And this stage, I would say, isn't compulsory. It is optional. One may decide to what? Print their document to get the hard copy, or one may decide to keep only the soft copy. So we already know the difference between a hard copy and a soft copy. So a printer is a hardware that also brings out hard copies of what? Our soft copies that we have on our computers. So we move on from this stage, then we go on to stage some examples of what? Word processors. What are some of the examples of word processors? There are a lot of word processors that we have on the software market. And the most common or commonly used of them all is what? The Microsoft Word, which is the first word processor. Then we also have the Google Docs. Google Docs that we mostly see on our smartphones. We mostly see them on our smartphones from Google Apps. Then we also have the WPS Office, which is the Word presentation and spreadsheet application. It's a software that has all these three what? Functions inbuilt in them. You can also download them on your smartphones and also on your Windows operating system. That is another example. Then we have Pages, which is, so let me state them on the board. We have one, Microsoft Word. Then secondly, we have the Google Docs. Then I also made mention of what? WPS, which is the Word presentation, then spreadsheet what? Office. WPS Office. Then the next one was Pages. We also have 5, LibreOffice Writer. Then I'm going to add one, which is not the last because there are a lot. I also have AbiWord, which is also available on my slide. AbiWord. So these are some examples of word processors that we have. So as I said, we have the Microsoft Word, which is the most popular and the most commonly of all these what? Word processors from the company called what? Microsoft. Okay. Then we have the Google Docs, then we have WPS Office, Pages, LibreOffice what? Writer, then we have the AbiWord. So these are 6 examples that we have. And remember, word processors are not only 6, but these are 6 that I'm giving you. You can further research on what? More word processors online to get to know other word processors that we have. So from there, all that we are going to do from here is going to be based on Microsoft Word. That is one thing that I want you to know. So to read something small from my slide, I'm going to say all instructions and screenshots in this manual are for MS Word. It means whatever that we do from here, all our lesson is going to be based on the Microsoft Word. Since I said it's the most commonly used word processor application. Your word processor might look different to the screenshots that you are going to see or from the images that I'm going to display. And that's okay. You might have a different version of MS Word. Since there are a lot of versions has been created for Microsoft Word. We have the 2008 version, 2009 up to the current year or maybe the previous year. So or you might be using a different word processor or even be using a smartphone instead of a desktop computer. So there are also other word processors. For example, we have the Pages, the WPS that you can also install on your smartphones and use them. You can even get the Google Docs also on your smartphones. Then instead of most word processors will have similar features and follow similar steps, but you might have to spend a bit more time trying to find them. So as I am going to use Microsoft Office in my lessons, you might be using Google Docs or let's say WPS Office, but your WPS Office or your Google Docs might have similar features that are going to be what? Related to the features that I have in what? The Microsoft Word application. So from here we move on to a topic which says parts of the Microsoft Word window. That is a subtopic, parts of the Microsoft Word window. So the Microsoft Word application after launching is going to display an interface that shows a lot of parts that you might be familiar with few but not all of them, or you might not be familiar with them at all. And as you can see, we have an image of the exact copy of the interface of what? The Microsoft Word window. We have the Microsoft Word window, an image here, which displays, or it is well labeled and is displaying its parts. So at the top left corner, you are going to see a part which is labeled Quick Access Toolbar. Quick Access Toolbar. Then we also have a part which has been labeled the ribbon. Then from the ribbon at the top middle part you have the title bar. Then from there we move on to another section called what? The command group. We also have the ruler, we have the document area, we have the scroll bar, then we have the zoom control, document view, page, and word count. These are the parts that you can see on the currently displayed interface of the Microsoft Word window. Okay, so to move from this part, we'll move ahead to explain each and every part. You are going to know the function of each and every part of the MS Word window. So from here, there is a video, but we will skip this video for the after we've ended our lesson. We are going to watch this video, which is also going to tell us more about the parts of the MS Word window. Okay, so from there we move on to, we begin with what? The title bar. With the parts, we begin with the title bar. So one may ask, what is the title bar? So it says the title bar is located at the very top. It is located at the very top. It displays the document's name and the application name. Into bracket it says Microsoft Word. So as I already told you, whatever we'll be treating is going to be based on what? Microsoft Word. And on the Microsoft Word window, we saw that the title bar was it was at the very top of what? The window. And as you can see, I'm back to my diagram again. So you notice where the title bar, and on the title bar, what you are seeing is what? Document 1. And you're also seeing Word. And the definition of title bar is telling us that it displays the document what? Name, and also displays what? The application or the word processor application name that you are using at the moment. So on this diagram or on this interface, you are going to see document 1, which stands for what? The current name that has been given to this particular what? Document that has been what? Created. This is an empty document. It doesn't have any content at the moment. So the moment or from the first launch of the MS Word window, this is a default name that is going to be what? Given to your document. And the name is what? Document 1. Then you see a hyphen there, then you see Word. The word means you are using Microsoft Word for creating what? This particular document. So that is what? The title bar. So located at the very top. It is always located at the top, and it displays the document's name and the application name. So from the title bar, we move on to the quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar. And it states it is what? A customizable toolbar positioned above the ribbon, providing quick access to frequently used commands like save, undo, and redo. Then what you must take note is what? Customizable. When we say something is customizable, it means you can change how it looks at any point in time. So it means with the quick access toolbar, you can choose to add what? Tools to it, or remove tools from what? That particular bar. So that is how you customize something. So by default, the quick access toolbar comes with commands like the save command, the undo command, the redo command. And there is also an additional button which helps you to customize it further. Whether you want to add certain commands like save, or certain commands like, let's say, I think cut, you can also get it there. So on your quick access toolbar, you are going to have the ability to remove certain tools and add also tools that you frequently what? Used. There are some tools that when you have them there, for example, you can also have the print command there, so that it is going to help make your work much faster. That is why we are saying what? It is the quick access toolbar. Every tool that is placed there helps you to perform an action what? Quickly. So that is that. Then we move on to the ribbon. The ribbon, it says what? It is a strip below the title bar that contains tabs. A strip below the title bar that contains tabs like file, home, insert, etc., that is etc., with groups of related commands. Let me read again. What is a ribbon? It is a strip below what? The title bar that contains tabs like file, home, insert. Then we have etc. There are a lot. So let's move back to our diagram of the interface of the MS Word window. Okay, so as you can see, you are going to see the ribbon, and the arrow is pointing directly on the ribbon. And on the ribbon, you are seeing what? A whole lot of tabs, which is what? We have the file tab, we have the home tab, we have the insert tab, the draw tab, layout tab, references, mailings, view, help, and these are the tabs that contains a lot of commands that you can switch in between, groups of commands that you can switch in between to perform different task that you want to perform or different formattings that you want to what? Apply to your document when editing. So it's saying that what? It contains what? Groups of what? Related what? Commands. So under every tab has its own unique what? Commands that you can what? Apply. So for example, let's take the file tab for example. Under file tab, that is where you are going to experience if you want to open a new document, if you want to save a document to a different type or different format, you can perform these tasks there. Even printing can also be what? Done under the file tab. Then we also have the home tab, insert tab. Insert tab comes with you being able to insert diagrams, images, tables into your what? Your particular document. Then we also have the next one, which is what? The document area. The document area, the main area where the content of the document is displayed and edited. So the moment you launch your MS Word, there is an empty space with a cursor that is what? Blinking. That is where all the content of your document is going to be created and placed. And that is where you are going to read your content from. That is where we term as what? The document area. So from there we move on to the scroll bars. And with scroll bars we have two types of scroll bars. It says horizontal and vertical what? Bars that allows you to navigate through the document when it's larger than the visible area. So the scroll bar appears when your document is larger than your interface. So we have the horizontal one, which is on the it is always beneath your document area, that allows you to scroll to the left or to the right. Then we have the vertical bars, which is also at the right side of your screen, which also helps you to scroll upwards and downwards. Then to make all areas of the document visible to you. Then from there we have the status bar, which also, okay, let's move on to the rulers located at the top and left of the document area. At the top and left of the document area, they help you with aligning text and objects. So you might have a document which you want text to be in a certain particular order. So the rulers are going to help you make these adjustments in your document to get a very beautiful view in your document. So we also have another control, which is also the zoom control. Allows you to zoom in and out of the document for better viewing. You might have a document which has fonts that are very small, which is not pleasing to your eye. So this slider or this zoom control is going to help you slide to zoom for a bigger view or to zoom for what? A much smaller view, in a way that is going to help you read your document better. So this is the end of our today's lesson. This is the end of our today's lesson, and I hope a lot has been learned, and we are going to meet in our next session. Thank you very much.